and grow is what you can expect at the House of Reconciliation. Leadership, community, education, wellness, and participation is part of our plan for your spiritual growth and success. Family and faith is a core value for the House of Reconciliation, working to help people find their purpose. Want to make an impact in the kingdom? Ready to tap into your future? Meet us at the House Sundays with Pastor Reginald Campbell, www.houseofreconciliation.org.
So don't look at yourself and feel like you failed. Just keep sowing seeds, because at some point something will stick. I want to welcome all of you in. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are at the Greenville campus in service. I want to thank those that are part of the Greenwood campus that are joining us, as well as those that are part of our virtual campus. And of course, to all of our global connections, we thank you for this opportunity. We will not waste your time this morning. We are going to talk about money. And I think it is need versus, need money or use money. And today is the birthing of our teen financial class. So our teens just went in the back and to learn. So what I would love to recommend that if you have a young teenager, please don't hesitate to bring them. And I know it's early and we were just having that conversation, but there's an old saying, the early bird catches the worm. So you come in early, your teens are better with money, you become better with money, and things change for you, because money will change your attitude and money will change your outcome. So a couple things I want to go over before we dig into the lesson. We had talked about the theme of the year is connect, grow, and serve. And so we've been dealing with transition to transformation. And in dealing with that, I think there's a slide or something that they'll show you that shows how a caterpillar goes from one stage to the other stage. And we've talked about how that creates a level of independence. But it also creates and it positions you. So a few things that I'm going to give you for those that like to take notes is simple. Don't walk in fear. Wherever God has you going, don't be afraid. Fear will extract your internal energy and zap you mentally. So when you get to the bridge, you get to the test, you will not be able to walk in purpose. Fear cancels creativity. Fear destroys the
Connect,
possibility.
serve, and grow is what you can
Fear
expect
in
at the House of Reconciliation.
Will strip a person of all of their skill sets. Don't walk in fear. Walk in purpose. And I recommend it to everybody that males as well. Some type of devotion. Get your devotion, something to help you start your day besides caffeine, and something to help you in your day. You will rest better if your mind is at peace. You will rest better. Now, the number 20 simply means redemption. So we're at a point, and many times are covering. I look at the economics. I see that major billion-dollar corporations are starting to lay off 3,000 to 5,000 people, and this will continue on a monthly basis. This is not to frighten anyone. This is to ask you, how prepared are you if you were affected by the decisions of other people? Remember, this is the month that many people are praying and fasting. I think everyone needs some prayer and devotional time. And if you are fasting, here's what I am learning, and it is working. Eat for functionality and not for consumption. I'll say it again. Eat for functionality. It doesn't take that much for your body to function. But when you like to consume, then we will consume more, and our body cannot do what it needs to do. So it helps. So the scripture that we're going to use, and I don't know how long we'll be at this one, because we are going to the one I think that is in Ecclesiastes that talks about money is a defense. We are going there, but we're right now in Proverbs 21:5, and it says, The plans of the diligent lead surely to an abundance. And when I research it and go back into the original Latin, it talks about the person that's patient. Many people have planted seeds and have forgotten where they have planted them. This goes back to the story of the squirrel. He's so much trying to consume, and based on how many nuts fall from the tree, will give an indicator of what the winter days will be like. So if a squirrel knows what's coming by the signs, how do people not know by the signs? So, but it says, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. Here's the thing that I'm going to say. Opportunity in 2023 is there for everybody. But here's the thing. It's going to have a requirement. We're going to have to be at our best when the opportunity presents itself. Here is something new. Most people have an innate and a spiritual birthright. Innate inheritance, and a spiritual birthright that leads to a spiritual inheritance. Here's what most people are doing. This is why we're going to talk about a little bit about money today. Most people God has already gifted. This is a quote. But it's your responsibility to maintain it and be responsible for it. Sometimes you're looking at someone else's gift. You're looking at what someone else is doing and what they have done, and you're not looking at yourself. And here's what's missing: the process. You see them at stage 25 when you wasn't with them when they were at stage 1. So then you think you can start at 25 when you haven't even pre-prepped any of your work. You can't be where someone else is if you don't practice. So many people struggle with their own gift because they are consumed by what they see. Sight can be blinding. I'll say it again. God has gifted you, but you must maintain it. In other words, just like your car, you need to maintain your car. You have a relationship. There are things that you have to alter in order to maintain that relationship. And so with your gift in God, you have to find a way to maintain that it continues to grow. Here is what we're trying to do in the month of January, is develop tools to become critical thinkers, not emotional reactors, but people who are critical thinkers that sit down and go through several scenarios and strategies before he or she comes up and make a decision. So we are developing tools to become a critical thinker. This goes back, you can hashtag the Georgia people who won the national championship. Coach Kirby Smart, I believe is his name. He said this about a day after winning the national championship back to back. He said this in his commentary: if we want to repeat for the third time as national champs, we must start now the journey of reinventing ourselves in order to pursue a historical three-peat. What is that saying? What got you there won't keep you there. And that's where most people are struggling. He is saying, yes, we won back-to-back. Salute to Georgia. But he's also saying everybody now has film on us. And what made them different this year from when they won it last year, they were hunting. So they beat the great Alabama. And this year, and I had told my son, who's a huge Georgia fan, I said, when in the national championship game, the first one, when he told the guy to go down, I said, you can't recruit five-star players and not let them eat. If they're going to hunt, they want to eat. And for Georgia to beat Alabama on a national stage, that is the worst thing you can do, is to tell them to go down and let's be safe. Come on. Alpha males and alpha females, they hunt. There's a beast in them, and that beast has to be satisfied. Like, y'all are church people, y'all can say what y'all want to say, but maybe y'all weenie dogs. And I'm talking about the people that are really alphas.
Come on, sir.
They hunt.
Come on.
And so when you tell an alpha to lay down, that's not in their nature. It's not in their nature. So this year, he had a different approach by saying, we have been told that we were the hunted. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to play with aggression, and we're going to hunt. Don't ever sit there and gloat over your victory. If you watched football last night,
Boy, that's powerful.
in the first half, I'm not going to talk about people that was down at Little John Coliseum that drove all those miles thinking that they were going to beat a team and just pumped up and wasted all that time to get towed out. Boom. Because, see, they went down there with their emotions,
Yes, they did.
and then they got beat, just like the football team on last night was up 27-0 in the first half. And they on the sideline blowing kisses and peace signs like it's over with. And I said to myself, there's a whole nother half. You said it. It's still time to come up. So no matter what the score is, it's still time to come up in your life. And at the end, they lost. I wonder where was all the peace signs and blowing kisses. And one guy was smart. He was like, you don't need to do that. We got a whole nother 30 minutes. And see, sometimes people brag too early. So they wind up losing.
Come on.
He said, we must now start the journey. And this is what we're doing. So here's what we talked about, I believe, on Wednesday. What about you and your future? You talk about everybody else except for you. You know what they have in their home. You know what kind of money they make. You know what time they pull out of their driveway. You know everything about them. But what do you know about you? You can watch all of these drama series. What do they call it? Reality series on television. You know their name. You done looked them up. You done Googled them. You know, you got the jerseys on. What about you? What about you and your future? You talk about your problems. We talk about our finances. We talk about other people's children. We say all these things. What about you and your future? So what I decided to do, and since we are developing young money and teenagers right now, I'm going to talk about finances, and I'm going to try my best to take every third Sunday of the month, because they're going to meet, I believe, every third Sunday of the month. And I'm going to try to talk about finances. Here's what it is. Need money or use money? Need money or use money? Here is it. It depends on needs versus vision. If you have vision, you don't need money. You use money to help occupy the vision. People who normally need money, which is 99% of the world, because they have needs. When you are trying to grow, here is a word that most people struggle with: sacrifice. They want, they need, but the Bible says, with your use, set it down first and addeth up the cost. And I understand the figurative and the literal of it. The figurative, what he was saying, if you're going to choose to follow Christ, you can't be up and down.
Come on, sir.
You got to know you're going to get persecuted.
Right.
If you choose to be successful, you have to understand there are going to be some rainy days. Why are you so upset? Because it's cloudy and it affects your moves. Because when it affects your moves, it affects your attitude, and your attitude will affect your behavior, and you will not be focused, that means you would not be disciplined. So you went to the store to pick up one thing and you bought 55. Right? Because when you need money, you don't properly categorize money for its purpose. When you need money, you're trying to put money into stuff to stop the bleeding. You're not using money. You're using money as a weapon. Money as a weapon is different than money as a tool. Can I make it plain? Money as a weapon gets shot and the bullet don't come back. Money as a tool goes out and come back. See, when you need money, you're trapped by paying bills. And the first thing about finances is learning how to eliminate bills, not ignore bills, and not to go make more bills.
Come on. Come on.
Because instead of repairing something, you're going to get in debt for another 8 to 10 years when you could have paid one song. If you can give them $5,000, then you can fix the car.
Come on here. That's good. Good word.
In about 2 years, you will have it paid off. Instead, let me make it plain, you're going to give up the car, give them $5,000, get another car that you're going to be paying 8 years for. Then they're going to turn around and fix the car for $2,500 and turn around and sell the car like the one you're buying, hello somebody, for more. They're going to put about $2,500 worth into it. And they're not even going to put that because they're already charging you for all changes and all of that. So you prepaid them. So now they're going to go out and make an additional 3 to 5 to 10,000% off of a car that you don't want anymore because you want the new hot and flashy stuff. You don't want glasses to see. You have to get glasses with glitter on them. You know, so you're trying to make a statement. Oh, hello, everybody. I'm in first class. You're not used to riding in first class? People that's used to riding in first class don't take pictures of themselves in first class. People that's used to driving nice automobiles don't ride around the neighborhood so everybody can see what they're driving. Here is what the 1% do. They use money to bring back more money. When you use money as a weapon, it goes, but it doesn't come back. It's like a bullet. When you use money, it comes back because you used it to bring more than what it was worth. And now you have a value. The one that shot the bullet and fixed the problem and got another car, they're somewhere paying somebody for another 5 to 8 years.
Jesus.
I had no idea car payments now. They're like, oh, don't worry about the years. Just make sure you can make the car payments, so we're going to make them low. They can make them low, but you're paying double interest. And you gave away $5,000. And to tell you the truth, nobody should be putting any money down on a car that's going to depreciate when you crank it up and drive it off the parking lot. But that's what happens when you don't position your credit.
That's good.
You got to position your credit. Your credit is a weapon. Your credit is used to get you the best interest rate and the shortest term. Did anybody want to go?
I'm listening.
See, because people use money to create a bigger footprint. And when they create a bigger footprint, it creates perpetual and residual income. So in other words, I bought it. I got low mileage on it. It's still holding market value. I still have a warranty on it. I paid $30 for it, but I can get $65 for it. That's what good debt is. But if you can't stay focused, you won't put a warranty on it. So then when I market it, I can market it as if though it still has a 8-year warranty on it, because it does. And so where I paid $30, now I can turn around and market it for $65. So guess what? I get my $30 back, and I get additional $35,000, and someone gets an additional 8-year warranty on the car. Hello, somebody.
I'm listening.
I think that must have went over some people's head. Did the airplane go over your head, or are you on the airplane? Because to achieve major goals, here is one word that is consistent that most people don't do, is get consistent with what you do. This is why there are things that people came up with maybe 5, 8 years ago, and they call it a vision board. And sometimes you have to have a vision board in your home, on your refrigerator, in your master bath restroom. You need to have, it needs to pop up on your phone every day. What is your vision? That will help you stay on track. Here's the thing. When making decisions, I want to give you something that I just said, but I'm going to give it to you in a different way. How does it pay you back when you spend the money? When you go and purchase something, when you go and spend your money, how does it pay you back? Does it pay you back in good health so that you buy something healthy? Or did you take a long trip to watch your team lose? Anybody want to talk to me now? Or were you on the sideline throwing up peace signs because y'all 20? Don't look up now. Trying to look, we got the game. You're forgetting about it's another half. When you make decisions, you need to determine how it's going to pay you back. If it can't bring you more than what you paid for it, consider why you're doing it.
Here are 5 washing machine tips.
You will never win. And listen to me strongly, and that's why we have a teams in there. You will never win breaking even.
You ain't lying about that. You're telling the whole truth.
You would never, because you took everything to wind up on the same line that you started with.
No.
40 years old. Yeah, then you need something else. If you can't, and here's the thing you have to get comfortable with. And this happens in business all the time. And actually, I sat around some people this week, and everybody was talking about, well, I got to make a profit. Certain cultures and certain ethnicity groups are literally afraid to make a profit. And if you don't make a profit, you will always be stuck in survival.
Come on.
Here's a quote. Don't look the part, live the part.
That's right.
Don't look like success. Anybody can go get some glasses from Goodwill.
I'm done.
And that's the thing that kills me. You give it to them and they sell it. And they buy a building big enough. I'm like, I need that building for a church.
My God.
I'm giving you clothes and you selling them. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'm sitting here saying, I gave you something I paid all this money for. You're going to go sell it for $2. And you have a huge building. Listen, what was my last quote? What did I just give y'all? You have to get comfortable with making a profit. You want to break the cycle of being even. Does this make sense?
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you why. I'm going to say it again. How does it pay you back? Because here's the thing. Most of the time, the attitude, the behavior, the lack of focus, and the discipline will make you throw away things that still have value. And if you purchase any vehicle, if you have a home, at some point in your vehicle and in your home, it's going to need maintenance. Most people are trading and giving away things because they don't want to do the maintenance. You don't understand doing life and cycle maintenance on vehicles and your homes will keep the value. So when you get ready to sell your home, all right? Now, I'm saying this for a reason. I want to know when you give an apartment $35,000 a year or more, and you're driving a really nice luxury car, what's your income to level up? I saw it multiple times yesterday. People had on the glasses, you know, I'm cruising and I'm driving a nice luxury vehicle. And you pulling into an apartment complex.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
You pulling into a park. I know you're pissed, but it's okay. I want you to be.
It's facts.
Because I want you to listen to me. Listen, Linda, listen. You've got so much money, and the average rent is $1,000, so a person is paying anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000 a year.
Close to 2,000.
And some are paying $2,000, so that's $22,000 a year for something that's temporal.
Jesus.
And you go satisfy your ego by buying a luxury vehicle and pretending among your friends. And let me tell you something, because I've lived in an apartment.
That's the word right there, man.
I lived in an apartment. They're as nice to you as they possibly can, but miss the rent. In 10 days, there will be a difference in their attitude with you.
Disposition.
You see what I'm saying? They smile. Hi, I lived in an apartment. And they come in. I was like, man, y'all some of the nicest people in the world. You got free cookies, sugar lemonade. You're feeling good. Everybody go, hi, Reginald. Hi, Reginald. Hi, how are you? I'm like, everybody know your name? Lo and behold, I went in there one day, and there was somebody that had not paid their rent. And then the same people that was, hi, good morning, Reginald. How are you today? Oh, we got cookies. You, and they had not paid their rent. That was a rude awakening for me. I said, oh, there's a different side to this. They have a quarter with me. And when you don't pay, so I don't understand. Because I'm not about fake realities.
That's good, man.
I'd rather take less now. I'm not worried about what you say. Listen, if you want influence in my life, then send me some money. Cash out me. And I don't even have a cash app. If your opinion means nothing, put money in my pocket.
Come on.
And some people are on the leeway. You know, I have a reputation. Reputation?
What reputation?
You have nothing to barter to. That's what old folks say, barter with. You don't have nothing to use to add value. Because as soon as you miss rent, that $22,000 to $25,000 that you done played because you got a swimming pool and the clubhouse, that's not yours.
Yep.
That's for whoever can pay the bill.
That's it. You're right. You're right.
Can I say something that's gonna sting?
Help us.
Rent only benefits the landlord.
You're not lying there.
It marked time for the person. And I'm a landlord. Rent only benefits the landlord. It marks time for the person. And if it's marking time, you're not gaining. And I know you're pissed, but I want you to be pissed. I want to piss you off this morning that you do something with your life besides sit on that couch with them underwear you had on last night.
I'm done.
Run that back on the loop.
Help us, Lord.
Let me know when y'all get over that. What happened? Okay. Because you just slept, didn't brush your teeth, just said, I'm going to watch Pastor this morning. See what he talking about. Clean up if you're going to watch me. Wash your face and brush your teeth.
Man, that's a good word, though.
Temporary responses only appease the emotion. Here's a quote. Temporary responses. Oh, Lord, I just realized someone probably didn't have none on. Jesus, let everybody close your eyes. Oh, Jesus. Temporary responses only appeases the present emotions. Temporary responses only appeases the emotions. But don't change the situations. So when I'm in my temporal mode, I appease my emotions. But it doesn't change the situation. Temporary responses. I cussed him out. I gave him a piece of my mind. I told him off. I cut in front of him and shot him a bird. You still at the red light with the same person you shot a bird. Now you don't want to look over in the car. Because there's allowed to be road rage on both. You done drank all that coffee and got your caffeine and your adrenaline running, and you still got to take that test. And by noon, you'll be like this. Am I making sense? Yep. Temporary responses only appeases the emotions, but it does not change the situations. What does that mean? Yelling and screaming, going to sleep, not wanting to deal with an issue, not wanting to talk about it, but want to fuss about it. Hello, somebody. I must have hit a vein. They got real quiet. Why do you need money? To spend it? How does it pay you back? Here is what the 1% do. They use money. Did that hurt? Did that hurt? Lord, I believe I've been hitting. Hit me in the liver. Kidney punch. I believe some people look like they got kidney punch right now. Why when you leave this class this morning, you're going to go spend money? You're going to pay $3 and $5 for an egg that you got at the house for 12 cents. How does it pay you back? Number 2, people with money have vision. And that vision is to make it profitable, to make the visions profitable. People with vision use money to build out stuff. It's just like this building. They built it out. They built it out in faith because they created and found out and did the research. There was a need for people to lease, to own, to be here temporal, long-term leases. So they used it as a vehicle to create perpetual money, profitability. Profitability turns into wealth. Wealth isn't, and people that are wealthy, they don't look like they're wealthy. They come in some simple blue jeans and a polo shirt, and you dress like you going on a red carpet. And I'm going to tell you what they say. Like, Reggie. It's like, and they say, well, why they dress like that? They must not have no money. Seriously, I'm going to see a guy today. I'll be in Columbia. See y'all soon. And he was talking to me, and I said to him, and I've known him for years, I said, why are you talking to them? And he said, well, we're talking about, going into business together. I said, they ain't got no money. He said, huh? So he came back to me 2 months later, and he said, man, you was right. I said, you went through all of that with them? Didn't you not hear when they kept saying, we happy, we was trying to pay the note. If you're trying to pay the note, then you can't handle the note. Now, this is real business talk. I looked him in the face and I said, now, I am not in your league. I said, so now, but I'm going to be real with you. To get in your league, you're going to have at least $2.5 million cash flow for the business that he's in. He was like, yeah. I said, then that's not your fixed cost. That's just to keep product on the shelves. That's not your fixed cost. That's not your payroll. That's not anything. That's what they call revolving credit. Because you're going to have a level of credit that people will supply you with stuff, and you pay back, or you pay a certain percentage back every month so you can make money. Some people call it a floating revolving credit thing. I said, so the next time you look at partnership, because you're looking at buying, somebody, real quick, get your calculators out. You're looking at buying a 8,000 square foot building. I want you to factor it's $25 a square foot. So take 5,000 square foot, divide it by 25, and tell me, and that's what the rent's going to be on that building. Do I know? 200? 200,000? 200. Okay, that's $200 a square foot. Yeah. So take 200 and multiply that times 5,000. Tell me what you got. Do what? $1 million. Hello? Hello? So you're telling me you're talking to someone who barely can make their note, and you're talking about a $5,000 to a $12,000 investment just to open the door? That's not even including running it. I said, so the next time you talk to people, you ask them if they have $3 million in cash to float. If they don't, then they're not in your league. Yeah, hello? That's what people do that have vision, is they go out and they accumulate resources. Not try to survive and look cute in the moment. They build resources. So when they build out their visions, and their visions become profitable. And here is the step number 3. What it does is it sets up legacy for the generations that come after them. See, here's the first thing that I know, and I don't want to use the word, of people that are not financially stable, is they only see themselves. They only see the moment they're in. They don't see tomorrow. They don't see the future. They don't see their grandchildren. They don't see their nieces and nephews. Legacy means it was something more than you. So it goes back to the simple principle. Are you a consumer or you a producer? Because if you're bragging about this moment and you're walking around like you all this and all that and all puffed up, that tells me you ain't ready for the next moment.
That's right.
Yes. Because here's what happened. There are those who assume they don't need it. I just want to shine in this moment. So what happens when the next moment shows up? You went from glitter to dust.
That's true, man.
Yeah, I'm almost there. You went from glitter to dust.
That's true, sir.
You shouldn't do that. Here's the thing. It depends on your needs versus your vision. And many times to bring your vision to pass, you must sacrifice your needs.
Ooh, that is powerful.
Take a little less now so you can have more later. I'll say it again. It depends on if you really want to sacrifice, because it depends on needs versus vision. When you have vision, you make sacrifices. The problem is most people get with people who are ready to live in the moment but not sacrifice for the future. You need a man, a husband, a woman, a wife in your life that can see we ain't just shining in front of poor people. We able to walk with wealthy people and build legacy. And when you do that, you're not caught up in authority and control and titles. Well, I got money. You got money today. Go on, Acapulco. Inflation will erode your 5% profit. So the question becomes as we get ready to close. There are those who use money to fulfill visions. And then there are those who need money to survive. You have to figure out which are you. You want to continue to go and catch a sale and impress people? Or you want to work what you got so tomorrow will look better than today? God bless y'all. I'll see you soon. You better than today. And if there's no sacrifice in today, tomorrow can't be healthy because you've consumed everything today. And so there are those, especially that come out of Apostolic Pentecostal holiness, that'll say, take no right of what you have today. Well, if that's the case, why do we need a heaven?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You got to have somewhere to go. Did I help y'all this morning?
You helped me.
All right. Well, God bless you.
Yeah, you helped me.
I helped you?
Yeah,
All right, my brother.
big time.